Overflows. Sufism, the fragrance of Islam. बहुत कड़वी है मैं इस साकी की, रंग लाएगी गर सांसों में उतर आने दो. बहुत कड़वी है मैं इस साकी की, रंग लाएगी गर सांसों में उतर आने दो. Indeed, the mystical wine of this brewer is bitter. Allow it to enter within. Certainly, it will transform you. In the series of enlightenment and other paths, now we reach Sufism. Before I explain the concept of enlightenment in Sufi path, it is important to explain what is the relationship between Islam and Sufism. Islam began in 610 AD when Prophet Muhammad experienced a visit from Angel Gabriel in a cave near Mecca. The Quran, which Muhammad dictated shortly thereafter, is considered to be the word of God through Gabriel's revelation. This esoteric dimension exists in all religions, and in Islam it originated with the tradition of Holy Prophet. Mysticism in Islam is termed as Sufism. The mystic is a Sufi. One of the first women Sufis we come across, we can trace in Islam, is Hadrat Fatima bint 608 to 630 AH. AH refers to Anu Hijri, the year of Hijri when Islam began. Hazrat Fatima prepared Prophet to receive the revelations that sowed the seed of awakening and finally led to enlightenment. There is an interesting transition that you notice in her personality. While mourning the death of Prophet Muhammad, she said, "It is not surprising that whoever catches the fragrance of Muhammad's tomb will never know another perfume. Destiny injured me with bereavement so sorrowful and so dark that if it had fallen on the days, they would have been burnt into eternal nights." Her expression of this utterance is tasawwuf, poetry and love. Tasawwuf is the confluence of poetry and love. It is known as Ishq-e Hakiki. Hakiki is a beautiful word. It comes from Haq. Ishq means love. Love for truth, that which is Haq, are the important language of the expression of tasawwuf. While traversing on the path for attaining the status of Sufi, when the self undergoes certain transitions, it acquires an ecstasy, and the expression of that ecstasy is known as tasawwuf. As the Quran reveals that within human self there are 7 selves within each soul. The first is nafs amara, the physical self or the spirit of the self prone to evil. The second is nafs lawama, the moral self or the self-accusing spirit of conscience. The third is nafs mulima, the inspired self. The fourth is nafs mutmaina, the self-tranquil or the spiritual self. The fifth is nafs radiya, the contented self. Sixth is nafs a mardiya, the soul satisfying, and the last is nafs safiya wa kamila, the self clarified and perfect. The attainment of nafs-e mutmainah is described in Holy Quran thus: O thou soul that art at rest and restest, fully contented with the Lord, return to the Lord. Thou being pleased with him, and he pleased with thee, so enter among my servants and enter into my paradise. Holy Quran verse. When a human being pursues the path of spirituality, he gets transformed from grossness to virtue. This process purifies the spirit of his conscience and he acquires the control over unbridled passions, sensual desires, and bestial appetites. He gets freedom from all the weaknesses of human existence, material longings, and other worldly attractions, and thus attains the state of nafse safiya wa kamila. These transitions are summed up by Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi in his Masnavi in the following words: At the moment you entered the world, a ladder was placed in front of you to escape. First, you were a mineral, then you became a plant, then you became an animal. How could you ignore it? Then you were made into a human being, gifted with knowledge, reason, and faith. Observe this body drawn from dust, what perfection it has acquired. When you have transcended, the condition of humanhood, no doubt you will become an angel. Then you will have done, then you will have done with the earth. Your dwelling will be in heaven. Go beyond the angelic conditions, drive into the ocean so that the drop of water that is you can become ocean. This is one shore of enlightenment. Drop becoming the ocean. This state in Sufism is called the fana fuel shake, the drop merging into the ocean. Then you will have done with earth. Your dwelling will be in the heaven. Go beyond the angelic conditions, drive into the ocean so that the drop of water that is you can become sea. Masnavi Maulana Room. But we must remember that all these stages, physical, moral, and spiritual, are intertwined. They cannot be separated from one another. Whatever individuals give to their physical self influences their moral and spiritual self. This is the reason that the Holy Quran always lays great emphasis on inner purification. External cleanliness and the purity of thoughts and deeds. I repeat this. This is the reason that Holy Quran always lays great emphasis on inner purification, external cleanliness, and in the purity of thoughts and deeds. For examples, tears come when you are in grief, and they also come when our happiness touches extremity, and joy brings laughter. This clearly shows that there is a mysterious correspondence between the physical, moral, and the spiritual. By disciplining the physical, morality transcends and that sprouts and thus sprouts the spiritual self. Virtually nothing cometh, virtually nothing comes from outside. Virtually nothing comes from outside. Everything is within us. But it is a matter of cultivating one's own self. When this process reaches the fruition, the soul achieves glory because its purpose is fulfilled. Tasawwuf is the very essence of Sufism and that of man's existence. Evolving out of Islam, it has now become the inner part of every aspirant. Islam centers around four pillars. Islam centers around four pillars: Shariat, Hadith, Tariqat, and Tasawwuf. Of these, Shariat and Hadith form the part of the outer body of the religion, and Tariqat and Tasawwuf form the inner core of Holy Prophet. Tariqat, the path, the way, and Tasawwuf, Ishq Hakiki, the confluence of poetry and truth. Both Tariqat and Tasawwuf are connected to the Nisbat of Holy Prophet. Tariqat teaches you the way to Nisbat. Tariqat, the path, teaches you the way to Nisbat, and Tasawwuf prepares you for inner serenity and for the continuation of the way of Nisbat. Through Tasawwuf it happens. If you have love for the Master, then Nisbat will work. Tariqat and Tasawwuf are part of each one of you. Tariqat prepares you as an individual along the way, and Tasawwuf preserves your awareness. Tariqat prepares you as an individual along the way, along the path, and Tasawwuf preserves your awareness. Enough for now as I continue through the path of Sufism to look into enlightenment.